So basically, if you engage in counselling, you're going to be sitting down, either you or with others, and you're going to be talking through issues and problems, and hopefully the person that you're working with, the therapist, the counsellor, will be skilled in helping to tease out issues and hopefully point the way to some solutions. So the sorts of problems and issues that counselling can help you with would range from some of the problem behaviours that some people can get caught up in, and that might be drug and alcohol abuse. It might be in terms of problem gambling, for example. And also it may relate to problems that some people have got because of their history. Some people may have had traumatic experiences. It may have been an experience of child abuse, for example, or other traumatic events. Other sorts of issues that you commonly see in counselling would be relationship issues, where then people have got a difficulty in the relationship of whatever nature, and they're wanting to use counselling to help to address that. So one of the difficult things about engaging in counselling is to get a clear idea of how many sessions that you might need to engage in, and that can be anywhere between 1 and 20 or 30. Most commonly, people would engage in counselling with organisations such as ours for 10 sessions or less, and that would what would be important is that when you meet with your counsellor, that you actually talk about that. You know, you could be asked questions, or you could even raise the question of, well, how will I know when I no longer need to come? How will I know when this bit of work has resolved the issue? Some people may just want one session because they really just want to be able to hear out a problem and talk it through, and yep, they feel that they can then move on. And others may have a long-standing issue, and they may come to counselling for a period of time, and then they may need to come back to counselling at some future point, either in their relationship or in their life. Ideally, if you experience a problem in the relationship, then you would want to be able to come together. Now, when you're doing that, things to be thoughtful of is that are you both wanting to work to keep the relationship and to, let's say, fix the relationship, for want of a better word? Or is one of you then really looking at, I think I need to move on from this relationship? And when you're working with a counsellor, it would be good to establish, you know, really what the direction for each of the two parties is in that situation. Now, and it might be that different people in that couple or in that relationship are at different stages with that issue. If you're not able to have your partner come along when you're looking particularly at relationship issues, then it is still of value, still potentially of worth, to see a counsellor to talk about what you do about that. And either what is it that you can do to help to encourage them to come, or how you're going to address that issue that you have, that, you know, perhaps your partner isn't able to join you and to work on the issues. So as well as working with couples, we also work with individuals, and we also work with families, and we work with children. So Relationships Australia then has offices all across the country, and the sorts of services that get provided, some are funded through the Commonwealth Government, some are funded through state government, some are funded for specific issues and specific problems. So you'd really need to contact your local office to make sure that you are going to get the right program for you. But certainly we would, we provide services to adolescents and to children. And when you do make contact, then might depend on the state and territory that you're in as to then what you might expect on a first point of contact. So it might be in one state, then you might do that on the telephone, and then you have an experienced operator there who will talk you through then what's going to be the best program, the best location for you. Others, it may be that you walk in to a service site or a venue, or that you may ring the venue itself. Sometimes then you talk to perhaps somebody that works on a reception and a front desk. Other times you might be talking to a counsellor. So it just depends on really on how that service is set up. But what you would expect when you have that first point of contact is that you'll be treated with respect, and with dignity. You'll be taken seriously, and that the person you're talking to will be working hard and doing their level best to make sure that they can link you with a counselling service that's going to be right for you. Well, with relationship counselling, I think that the best thing to do is to just relax and to go into it with an open mind, and to not be afraid also to talk with your counsellor if things aren't working out for you in the counselling in the way that you think you should. Any good counsellor should be open to those conversations and would want to be open and reflective on both their work in general and how that particular session is going with that individual or family. So don't be frightened to have an input into that. Another important thing to note about relationship counselling is that if you are to engage in that, then I think you shouldn't be afraid then to play a part in what's happening and how it's going for you. So if at any time you feel that the counselling isn't going in the right direction, or it might not be addressing what you think it's addressing, or you're not sure really about what's happening, then you shouldn't be frightened of having that conversation with your counsellor. Any counsellor would be reflective of their own work, and they would want both that individual session, their work with that individual or family, and their practice in general to improve and to go well. So they would want to be able to have that conversation with you. So all Relationships Australia counsellors are trained and qualified counsellors. We require that. We require tertiary qualifications, and also we require membership to a recognised body. There are a number of those. And not only do we require that our counsellors are qualified and trained, but then also that they receive regular supervision. And so that helps to ensure the quality of the services that we provide. Also, Relationships Australia is engaged in a process of continually improving its services. And one way to do that is to actively seek the feedback of our clients, past and present, to help us to continue to improve counselling. So it may well be that as a result of that, you might be asked to fill out a feedback form, or you have that opportunity, or it might be that you're asked for your permission if Relationships Australia might follow you up, because we're looking at some research or we're doing some evaluation. And you'd have the opportunity to either give your permission or not give your permission. And of course, if you did give your permission, you could withdraw that at any stage. But what that would relate to is us engaging in research and evaluation to make sure that we know that we're providing the best services that we can to people, and therefore maintaining the quality of service.